my daddy, Ja, and he's about to show you how to get your headlights fixed.
Okay, y'all remember in the last video I told you that, well, they tried to come up on me while I was washing the car, getting some of that free water from Mother Earth. But I did tell you that I would end up showing you how to get your headlights straight, because the car don't look good, or it doesn't look its best if you have yellow headlights and the whole car is clean. It just makes the car look like it's old and outdated. This is a 2002 Cadillac truck, an EXT. It was one of the best trucks when it came out, and it was really great. I'm now using it for a work truck. So I don't put a lot of effort into it. So I let it go without being washed a long time, for a very long time. But I decided to wash it on today, and it was raining, so it was great for me because I get to save on that water. If you dads out there know what I'm talking about. But either way, what we're gonna be doing is today we're gonna be polishing the headlights. When I showed you on the video before, when they snuck up on me, is that the headlights looked at yellow, but as you can see, as they're drying up, if you come back some, as they're drying up, they look even more yellow, and as they dry, they'll continue to get even more yellow to where you can't really see out of the lights. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna clear those today. Not only does it help your visibility when you drive, and not only does it look crystal clear, but it's gonna take years off of your car. No matter if it's an older car, it's still gonna look good. It's just like putting rims on an old car. This is another paid for car right here, our Mercedes. But the thing about it, we bring it back to life when we put rims on it. So we got some 22-inch rims, and you could go buy another car that's the same model and everything, but a lot of the cars aren't gonna look as good as that one just because it has the 22-inch rims, and they are Mercedes rims, so they, you know, they had a nice classic look to them. But even those lights on the Mercedes, they're gonna be cleared out too. I don't know if I'm gonna do those today or not, but they do need to be cleared out, and I'm gonna clear them out. And you're gonna see this Mercedes, it'll look even more better. So I'm gonna get started by showing you the different tools that we're gonna need. First, I want you to see the heavy duty tool. This right here is a dual action polisher. It's dirty because I also do big trucks. And if you wanna learn how to do an extra side job and make you a lot of extra money, I'll show you a lot of how to make a lot of extra money within your spare time by doing, you can do motorcycles and big trucks. I do a lot of 18-wheelers, but I do motorcycles, I do jewelry, and what I'm basically doing is I polish them up to make them look better than brand new. You'll get a better finish than brand new, because when they come from the actual plants, they look new, but they don't, they're not polished to its highest quality. And you can bring out the highest quality if you learn how to polish. And what is it? Polishing also has to do with the headlights. That we're going to be doing today. But first, what I have for this job is a dual action polisher. It's different from just having a polisher. This is a dual action polisher. So it slows up whenever you're grinding too hard, and the polisher will slow down in certain ways, and it also moves differently than just a regular polisher. So it'll keep you from burning the paint or burning up something. And what is it? The reason that we're doing it in the rain is because, for one, the rainwater is free. You don't have to pay out your own water. I guess the kids call that El Cheapo, and that's fine. But either way, with this dual action polisher, we'll be able to get these headlights real clear without burning them up. And the reason that we're doing it while it's raining is because you need a lot of water on these lights. Or even if it wasn't raining, you still need to have a spray bottle putting water on the lights so that you don't burn through the clear coat, because you can easily burn through this clear on the or burn through the plastic on these lights. So you want to make sure that your lights are cool. If you're in the sun, go to the shade. And if you're in the shade or the sun, still use water to keep those headlights moisturized, because I'm telling you, you can burn it up, and you'll know when it's burning up because it'll start making a brown color. If you start seeing a brown color to it, like a real brown color, almost like it's burning, that means it's burning. So you need to stop immediately. You can still fix it, but you have to comment down below and let me know what the problem is and what's going on, and I'll make sure I get back to you, because it has happened to me when I first was learning, and I thought everything was destroyed. I did it on a 745 BMW, and it was a bad day for me until I actually figured it out. and said, hey, they can still come back, and they still can come back. So it's not a total loss. So just comment down below if you have any problems, and I'll do my best to get back to you. And what is it? I don't know how long it may take me to get to all the people. I don't know how many people are going to comment, but either way, I want everybody to comment, and I will take my time to get back to you, because when those headlights burn up, it is very important you know how to straighten them out. You can't go wrong if you learn how to do the craft yourself, because you can always fix anything. So this is the dual action polisher, and then also we're gonna have a sander. This is an orbital sander, and what is it? It's circular in a circular fashion. Now I have another sander, and this sander is a little bit different. It's a mouth sander. This is gonna help me get into the corners a little bit better, because I don't wanna have to tape it up. The best way to do it when you're not a professional or you're not an expert at this is tape up your surroundings with a real good tape, but also one that doesn't stick so hard to the paint so the paint don't peel off, okay? But you do want to have a heavy enough tape. If you don't have a heavy enough tape that won't stick too hard, what you need to do is put multiple amounts of tape around where the paint is. I suggest that you put the tape in overlap the actual clear. So from here to here is where you want to overlap. You want to overlap your tape, have your tape go from here all the way up to here. And the reason you want to do that is because then you want to take a blade behind it and cut it out so that you have a perfect shape, so that you can make sure that this grip catches the sander before this paint metal part does, okay? And the other tools we're going to need is we have a cutting pad. Now this is a cutting pad. It's a 6-inch because I have a 6-inch pad on my grinder, on my dual action polisher, I mean. And what is it? This is a 6-inch compound foam pad. You can get those at Harbor Freight or anywhere else, like Walmart or Advanced Auto. But I think Harbor Freight has the best pricing for those. And then you have the 6-inch polishing foam pad. This is a finishing pad. This is a starting pad where you're cutting. This is polishing, cutting the stuff, the crap off, and this right here is where you're polishing it to a nice shine, a nice finish. Now, one thing about today is I don't have my polishing compound. So since I don't have my polishing compound, I'm not going to use my polishing compound, but I am going to use a little trick to be able to bring it to a nice finish. It's my technique that I'm going to be using to get it all the way right, okay? And what is it? Then we have heavy metal polish. Now a lot of people use heavy compound, but what I've noticed through the years is that heavy metal polish works a lot better. It can work so good that you won't even have to sand it a lot of times. What we're going to be doing also is sanding. So right here I have an 800 grit sandpaper. 800 grit sandpaper is really too low for to be doing headlights. But the thing about it is, if you put amounts of pressure on it, and if you also use this sanding pad with water and spray, have the water going on it, it has a hard time gripping. And since it has a hard time gripping with the water on it, you'll be able to still achieve what you need to achieve. Plus, when the pad starts to die down, it's also going to get less abrasive. And I know you probably don't know what I'm saying by all that, but either way, just use it very lightly on your headlights. And then what I suggest you do is, if you can, I only have my 800 because I didn't go getting those specific pads just for this. This just happened at the spur of the moment. I know how to utilize 800, but what you want to go out there and do is get you a 800 to start with, but go up to 1,000 grit and even get a 1,200 grit. If you start with the 800, go to the 1,000, do that one next, the same way as you did the 800. Then you want to go to the 1,200 to finish it off by sanding it down with the 1,200. And that, you're going to make sure you're still using water. And that right there is going to get you so crystal clear, you may feel like you don't even have to come back with the heavy metal polish, okay? But you still come back with the heavy metal polish and you'll see great results. So you just continue to watch me. And today it's raining, it's humid outside. I may not use this, but it's just some clear coat. So when you get done with everything that you're doing, you can spray clear coat on it if you don't do a polishing. Okay, if you don't do a polishing, you can still use your clear coat on it when it dry. It has to be totally dry. It has to be dried up from everything that you did, and then you'll come back and spray the clear coat. But anytime you spray clear coat, you want to make sure that you cover up everywhere so it doesn't get any paint on places that you don't want it. Only place you want the clear coat is here on the lens. Okay? Stress that you make sure you look at the video, because you want to make sure that you do not touch anybody's paint. So make sure you don't touch anybody's paint. You want to make sure that you get a business license and also get some insurance, because just in case you do touch their paint, the insurance will cover it and come back and reimburse you on that little mess up. Okay, so that's just a good way right there to start you a business or something like that. The reason I'm telling you kids about starting a business, even adults, even some adults, is because sometimes kids during the summertime, they want to have some extra money and earn some extra money. This is a great way to earn extra money, and it's your own business, and you do it at your own time. I do everything in my own time. And another thing is sometimes there's some dads out there, some moms out there, some of them might have got out of jail, some of them might have had a bad situation, lost their job, but this is the way to get back on your feet and actually make you more money than you ever made before. I'm not saying that you're gonna be a millionaire at the end of the day, but hey, if you got the business mindset to get other people to work for you, you know what I'm saying, you could be a millionaire. This right here, metal polishing, really brought me a long way, because I was able to get back to working on something, but I was able to do it for myself, and I made more money than I could ever imagine when I started doing the business myself after I learned the business. All right, so how we're first gonna get started is we're gonna put that 800 grit sandpaper, on our orbital sander. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna stay far away from the ends of the plastic, because we're gonna come back with the other sander to be able to get the ends so that we don't touch the paint. Another thing is the rain is slowed down now, so I need to have some water out here to make sure that I continue to keep this thing wet. As you can see, it's dry, and that's fine right now, but I want to at least have some water because I want to get it real wet so I can be able to have it smooth itself out as I'm polishing it, okay? Okay, now as you can see, the headlight is getting clearer. As you can already see, we started to knock down a lot of that oxidation. That's oxidation. But as you can see, the oxidation is starting to go away. And I'm sanding it down. But what I want to do is, because I only have the 800 sandpaper, and you run a risk by running the 800 if you don't really know what you're doing. So, oh, Jesus, I have a water right here. And what I do is I just put a little bit of the water on there, and I just Okay, so as you can see, I stayed away from the areas around. This one I got close because it rises up, but I still stayed from the edges of it on the sides. If you don't trust your tool and you think your tool might slip over and hit that paint, if you're not, this is if you're not taping it down, or even if you did tape it down, you don't want anything to slip and hit that paint, all you have to do is take this pad off of the machine, take this 800 pad off the machine, and you can do it by hand, like this. You just do it by hand. And when you do it by hand, you're in more control, okay? You're in a lot more control. This is what I suggest if you're a beginner at this, okay? And not just a beginner because anybody can mess something up. Anybody can have an off day. So what is it? This is a good way to do it, is take that pad and just use it by hand. And you can just hand that part. Now, when you're doing it by hand, you don't have to worry about all of that water, putting all that water on there, because you're not as aggressive as that machine. Your hand is not going to be as aggressive as the machine. So you do it by hand, and we're just knocking down that oxidation. Okay? And this is a real good thing to do because a lot of people do have sanders at home already. Whether their parents worked on wood, or if you're a parent and you work on wood sometimes, or whatever. But if you really want to go out and get you a nice cheap sander, this is the only business you can get in, and it's very low overhead. You go get you a sander, it may cost you about $20 at Walmart or $10 at Walmart. And you can even go to get one at Harbor Freight. The prices may vary, but sanders don't cost a lot. A lot of business that I've been into, I had a restaurant, I've had a colonic center, and different things. And a lot of those business, when you get into them, you're spending at least a good $10,000 to start a business. This business right here, you can start this business with maybe $100 or maybe $200. You can start this business and make that same amount of money in the very first day that you started. So it's a very low business with a very low overhead. And that's what you want to make sure that you're doing, is that when you get in any business, you want to make sure it has a low overhead. I have a lot of that darkness right there, and some of it's on the inside. What's on the inside you don't worry about, because the inside, that's just defective. For somebody may have a hole on the inside of their light, but for the outside you'll surely get that. These lights are not supposed to have holes on the outside of them, or yeah, they're not supposed to have holes anywhere around them. But if somebody has a hole on the inside of their light, they'll get water inside their light and different things. Now you can't get any of that out. You can, but it's not worth what you're gonna be making to do that. So I wouldn't really get into taking lights apart. Okay, so now I just took the mouth sander and went all around all the 4 sides and got them cleared up with using the water. Now I'm gonna put that same paper, we're still using the same paper, I'm putting that on the dual sander and I'm just gonna go around it one more time. So check this out. We have that first pad, which is that cutting pad, that cutting foam pad. See that there? And some of this stuff has gotten on the car, so I'm gonna wash that off immediately when we get done. But I put a little bit of that heavy duty compound on there, and now we're gonna get ready to put it on the dual action polisher, and we got it turned all the way up. You know, what you want to do with this one? It's okay if you come off a little bit on the paint because it's not gonna damage it with this right here. But don't bear down on it, okay? Don't bear down on it. Just touch it lightly if you're getting on the sides, okay? So here we go. Okay, as you can see, it's already starting to clear. It's a night and day difference already, but we're not done. We're not even close to getting it all the way clear. So what I'm gonna do now is just put a little water while I do it. So she's gonna show you the first part of it, and then I'm gonna keep on working it in. Okay, so right now what we're doing is we're continuing to go over it with the same pad so that we can get it even more clear. But hey, while I'm doing that, it's gonna take a little second for me to go across it. So while I'm doing that, I'm gonna challenge you, because you know I love me some Don't Knock free, baby. So won't you use your free efforts on hitting that subscribe button and that like button and show me some love like I'm showing you some love on this channel, and especially for little Natalia, my daughter, because this is her first channel. So show her some love, hit that subscribe button and that like button, and we'll sure be doing all the content that you may be interested in it. And if you're not interested in it, at least you learned something new. Okay, so while you're hitting that like button, Natalia give you the countdown. We'll give you 5 seconds to hit that subscribe button, that like button.
Now you're a part of our family.
Gang gang! Okay, so this is where we're at when we're on the while we did all the polishing. So this is where we got it too. Now it can get even clearer than this if I had the polish, the actual polish, and then after that use the polished foam pad. But I told you I didn't go out to do no extras, whatever. I just use the things that I have, and those are usually for when I polish the big trucks. So what is it? What I'm going to do now is I have another machine, and if you have this machine, you can use it too. But it's way more high speed. It's too high speed. It's actually dangerous. But I've used the machine plenty of times, and you must be an expert if you're doing this part. But I'm going to use this machine, and you'll see it'll get it even clearer, okay? But just use it very lightly and barely touching it, and you'll see it'll clear on up. Now, if you don't have a machine, that's great. Go get you some polish. Go get you some polish. And I also have an alternative if you don't have polish, but stay tuned. I'll show you. What I have here is a DeWalt grinder. This is a small grinder, and it's 1100 RPM. That's too many RPMs for what you need to do. The thing is, I'm using it very lightly, so you want to make sure that you watch it. And this right here is just a pad, connecting pad to go on here. No different than this hook and loop pad, but with a polishing pad, a wool polishing pad. So I just turn it on there and get it on there and tighten it up. Not too tight, because it's gonna get tighter as I'm using it. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go over the whole thing with it. Okay, put just a little bit. A little bit of that polish on there. Now this thing, don't use this unless you know what you're doing. Okay, so I'm gonna put a little bit more on, but I'm gonna use a little bit of water with it because I see it's a little too rough. So I have my water, and I'm just putting it on there. Okay, just a few turns. Okay, so now I put on I brought back out my dual action polisher, and I put my foam polishing pad on. That was the blue pad. I put it on. Okay, so now what I'm doing, I'm just wiping the vehicle back down. And when you wiping it back down, you want to rub it really hard. That's so all that oil that may be left over will come off. Because if you don't, what'll happen is it'll come off halfway and it'll still be some on there, and it'll make it look like you didn't do such a good job. But all you had to do was just wipe it better. Or you could take some Windex and wipe it off. It'll come off a lot quicker. Now, there's a lot of things wrong with this truck. Like I said, it's a work truck, so it's out in the field getting dirty and getting real messed up. It'd be crazy if I wash this thing every week or every day, because as soon as I get out to work, which is almost every other day or every day, depending on how I want to make money, if I get out there every day and be working, what happens is this vehicle is going to get way back dirty again, and it's going to look like I never touched it, because I deal with big trucks, so oil and all different types of stuff gets on this truck. And plus it's like a mobile service. When you do it mobile, you make the most money, because people don't like to be traveling when they're doing the big trucks. That's a whole nother video. But there we go. You can see the difference in the headlights. Now, like I said, if you got that polished compound, and if you you use that clear coat when that lens is all the way dry, it'll stay longer with the clear coat. And also, what it'll do, it'll stay longer, and also it'll get even clearer than this right here. But we use just a minimal amount of products. We didn't use everything we really wanted to. Instead of polish, we use power steering fluid. So if you like it, or if you don't like it, still comment, like, and subscribe for the channel, because we want to be able to bring you even more content, and we want to be able to do it in the best way. So help us out by helping yourself out, and push us to subscribe and like on the Tyus Family Remix channel. Gang, gang.